How's everyone? Have you ever wondered why it seems like learning new things gets harder as you get older? Maybe when you were a kid, picking up new skills felt like a breeze, but now, the idea of learning a new language, picking up an instrument, or even mastering a new hobby feels like climbing a mountain. If you've felt this way, you're not alone. Today we're diving into why learning is so much harder after the age of 12. By the end of this video, you'll understand the science behind it, how our brains change as we age, and, spoiler alert, it's not all bad news. So make sure you stick around to the end for tips on how to keep your brain sharp, no matter how old you are. First, let's talk about the golden age of learning. When we're young, especially between the ages of 2 and 12, our brains are like sponges. This period is called the critical period in neuroscience. During this time, our brains are designed to absorb massive amounts of information. Only humans delay adulthood to prioritize learning. It's how we master language, develop motor skills, and build foundational knowledge about the world around us. Our brains are firing on all cylinders, creating new neural connections at a crazy rate, about 700 per second when we're very young. This rapid growth allows kids to pick up complex skills like language with what seems like little effort. But this growth isn't infinite. After around age 12, the brain's plasticity, the ability to form new neural connections, begins to decline. There's a reason for this. We've delayed long enough. It's time to get on with the business of life, the business of being an adult. Trouble is, in our modern world, we haven't had time yet to learn everything that we need to. This doesn't mean learning stops, but the way our brains work changes. Essentially, as we age, our brains become more specialised. We start to prune the connections we don't use and strengthen the ones that we do. It's like a gardener trimming back the weaker branches to allow the main branches to grow stronger. While this makes it more efficient in things that we already know, it also makes it harder to learn brand new skills or information that require building new neural networks from scratch. So by the time we're adults, our brains are more like efficient computers, optimized for the tasks we've practiced over and over again. Great for mastering what we already know, but not so great for picking up something entirely new. Another reason learning becomes more challenging after the age of 12 is because of hormones. That's the business about being an adult I was talking about. When puberty hits, our brains undergo significant changes driven by hormones like estrogen and testosterone. These hormones affect how our brains function, but they also impact our focus, motivation, and even our moods. Teenagers often experience mood swings, heightened emotions, and fluctuating motivation levels, which can make learning during this period feel like a roller coaster. By the time we reach adulthood, these hormonal fluctuations stabilize, but the brain's priority is shifted from learning everything to focusing on things that help us survive and succeed in our social and professional lives. And for a while, this animal brain seems like it's completely in control. You might have heard the saying, "You can't teach an old dog new tricks." But is that really true? The reality is that while learning does become harder, it's not impossible. It just requires a different approach. Studies show that adults can learn new skills, but it often takes longer, and they might need more repetition to build those neural pathways. The key difference is that adults need to be more intentional and focused in their learning process compared to children. Here's what's happened. Your brain has changed, your body has changed, your animal brain wants to be in control and get you out there competing and sniffing around for a mate. The last thing it wants to do is sit down and learn stuff. And everyone seems to think you can just go on learning the way you used to. Well, you can't. You have to do it differently. You have to figure out how to trick your new brain into learning. It'll thank you one day. But don't worry. There's good news. Even though our brains become less plastic as we age, they also gain some superpowers. As we grow older, our brains become more efficient at problem solving and critical thinking. We start using different parts of our brain, like the prefrontal cortex, to make connections that younger people might not be able to see. This makes us better at applying knowledge we've already learned to new situations. So while we might struggle with learning new things quickly, we're actually great at mastering complex ideas once we get the basics down. Plus, research has shown that older adults who continue to challenge their brains by learning new things can keep their minds sharper for longer. It's like a use it or lose it situation. The more we engage our brains, the better they function, even as we age. So if you're feeling inspired but still struggling, here are a few tips for effective learning after the age of 12. Break it down. Focus on smaller chunks of information instead of trying to learn everything at once. Think of it as building one block at a time. Practice regularly. Repetition is your friend. Repetition is your friend. Repetition is your friend. Constant practice helps reinforce those new neural pathways. Stay curious. Learning is much easier when you're genuinely interested in the topic. Find ways to connect new skills or information to things you're already passionate about. Sleep well. Our brains consolidate information when we sleep, so make sure you're getting enough rest. Stay physically active. Exercise increases blood flow to the brain and boosts your ability to learn and retain information. So there you have it. While learning may become more challenging after age 12, it's not impossible. Understanding how our brains change as we age is the first step in finding strategies that work for us. Watch out for my future videos that will take you through how to learn as an adult step by step. Remember, the key is persistence, curiosity, and patience. With the right approach, you can continue to learn and grow at any age. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe for more content on how the brain works, learning strategies, and useful tips to make it all easier. Drop a comment below on what you're currently learning or struggling with. I'd love to hear from you, and I might even make a video about it. See you next time.